Just want to let you lot know that if you're watching this clip on the Fozcast YouTube channel, the full episode is now available to watch exclusively on Spotify, and it's free. Come on.
Yeah. One thing I found quite interesting was when a player gets a transfer to another club. So let's say a player at Bournemouth goes to play in Serie A for Juventus, let's say. The kit man will get the information of the corresponding kit man from Juventus, and basically he will send them an email with all of that player's information.
Yeah, requirements.
What size boot he is.
Yeah.
What size shirt he is. What he likes
Any
in terms
quirks.
of massages.
Yeah.
Are they? And he said then this little thing of staff then of he'll give them intel. Is he a pain in the arse?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And all this information, and that then we go into a different side of things now, where then the Premier League kitmen, they have WhatsApp groups.
Yes, it's good, isn't it? Damn right as well. The good kit men will do a handover. Yeah, it's like a business handover, so that the guy that's going to be taking his place at this new club, this new kit man, knows exactly the quickest, easiest way to deal with this player. Because the last thing you want is if you're a kit man, a new player coming in, and you've got to go and ask him about, so how do you like your kit rolled out? How do you like that? What do you have with your training kit? Do you want leggings with it? Do you want thick thermal top, or do you want normal summer top? Do you want rain jacket? Do you want just a jumper? One pair of socks? Two pairs of socks? Do you want white socks with it? What boots? Do you like your molds? Do you like all that kind of stuff? And a good kit man will do a thorough handover just like that, so it's seamless for the new guy.
We're gonna have to get a retired kit man.
Oh, it's brilliant.
We need one. But they
Kit
are
men.
phenomenal. But
Phenomenal.
do you know the player? This is how weird football and footballers are. So that player has left A to go to B, and he rolls up his first morning at Club B, and it's perfect. But do you know what? He just thinks that's normal.
Yeah, how that's normal.
Yeah. Oh my, what? He's got everything. But obviously there's some guys who are great guys and would, they'd know there's, but 90% don't even compute that that's happened. That's a miracle.
They know my size.
Oh my God.
This
And I
is-
can actually train and not worry about nothing. I'm not running around for 2 hours worrying about the size of my kit.
This is all just shout out to the kitman and how hard they work then and how much they care, and they understand though that their job is so difficult and so stressful that when a new player does sign for them or a new player signs for another team, they will do that handover and that passover to make it as easy as possible for that new kit man, because they understand what boat they're in as well.
And I'm sure there's a couple of little code names on it for the ones that are really good or...
Yeah.
And like you say though, the group chat, the WhatsApp group chat that the kit men have got, and damn right as well, because they'll know that the players are transferring between clubs, and it's straight away right, what is he like? I've heard that we're signing him or we're interested. What's he like? And they will give a frank and honest view of it. I'd love to see this group chat and see how it goes. I really would.
But the thing is, with the kitman thing, because it's obviously a mutual respect, you don't, as members of senior staff, senior staff at all the clubs, but you don't have anything like that. But the kitmen know how difficult the role is, and trying to make sure everything's perfect for a player is the key thing. But without really having that WhatsApp group, we were talking earlier, like they can't function, so they need to rely on their opposite number, especially at that away game. Yeah. They want to get in that stadium the night before the game, the majority of the time, and then it's about the home kit man liaising with the security team at the stadium. You don't just walk into a Premier League stadium and they're going to open the doors for you just because I say, I'm the Brighton kit man. Yeah. It's a very integral part of a trust between the two kit men.
It is,
that they know that the opposition can get in and do the work.
It's a nice little community, the kit men are. They are. They've got a nice little group, like say the WhatsApp group. But like I remember DJ at Watford, for example, he was really good friends.
He's at Arsenal now, isn't he?
He's at Arsenal now, but he was really good friends with the Leicester kit man. So I remember when we would get to the hotel in Leicester, DJ, we'd go and have dinner, but then DJ would be down at the bar having some food with the Leicester kit men or a couple of the Leicester kit men and a couple of our kit men. They're to go for a nice little meal themselves, and they'll look after each other on the next day. So if there's shirts need swapping, our kit man would go over to theirs, to the Leicester's, and he'd be like, one of our players, the goalie wants him, is that okay? And he'd sort it out for him.
Yeah, because the players don't always
ask a player for a
so
shirt,
it'll be facilitated by the kit man.
It's more and more now, actually, to be fair, because players are quite unsociable and they're quite kind of, they give it the big and this bravado, they're this big, confident, they're really not.
And there's the perception that they don't want to be swapping kits on the pitch.
Exactly, as
well.
Yeah,
because they're all scared of Roy Keane.
Yeah, they're all scared of Roy Keane, saying, look at the state of I'd never do this. So what they'll do is they'll get into the changing room and they'll straight away just go, DJ, will you go and get me his kit, please? And DJ's like, okay, yeah, cool. And then another player, well, DJ, can you go and get me his kit as well, please? So then DJ has to go knock on the door, basically, of the opposition changing room and go, hello, mate. Say it to the kit man, hello, mate, can you get me his shirt, please? Because they want it. And that's the way.
Do a player ever go, no, that'll cost me 70 quid?
I'll guarantee you there has been.
Be a few.
I guarantee you.
I thought for the England kit men, and there was always 2 or 3 of them, that was the hardest job. If they managed to swap shirts coming off, but like when we were playing a lower nation, San Marino, for instance, home or away, like you'd be, they're not. Yes, they're not asked really. No, I'll be frank. They're not asked about the result, but they're stood outside your dressing room. Their kit men or players basically wanting
anything,
any shirt, England shirt they can get. It's just an impossible task for the kit man, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you'd walk out, the players would be walking out, obviously got no kit, they've had a shower, and they're still stood there with like 10 San Marino shirts. And obviously, without being disrespectful, nobody's taking a San Marino shirt, but they're just desperate for an England player. But they've done a few would swap on the pitch, just not to be disrespectful. But then they're waiting for that after the game, and the kit men can't facilitate it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're just there. I don't know what happens to them San Marino shirts, to be honest with you.
They'll take anything as well. I've seen them wanting shorts and socks and boots and gloves and shit. Anything. They want absolutely anything. Some sort of like memento of that day of playing against their heroes, basically, which is understandable because I think most people would.
And just going back to the kit man and the communication side of things. So whilst they're on the coach, for example, they might be going, we're running 5 minutes late. They'll be texting the security, as you said, the other kit man. They'll open up the barriers, and this is all facilitated by the kit man, isn't it? I remember when I was going to a Watford game, and I think it was Villa away. Do you remember? And Basler took a wrong turn in.
Yes.
Basler, the driver at Watford, legend. Everyone knows Basler. He took a wrong turn in and was like 20 minutes late or something.
Yes.
And you arrived at the ground.
Yeah.
Was it at 2 o'clock?
We arrived like so for a 3 o'clock kickoff. If you arrive at the ground at 2 o'clock, it's panic station.
It's disaster.
It is absolute disaster.
Yeah. And I remember I was sat in the stand, and Basler came up and sat next to me.
Yeah.
We kind of know each other, and I'm like, "You're right, mate." And the look on his face,
he was heartbroken.
He was devastated.
He was devastated. I remember getting off the coach.
It's real pressure. I mean, managers would be going absolutely hate shit. Because, but it's. I mean, especially for them away games in London. I mean, it's impossible. But like most of the managers I've worked with, they might give them a 5 or 10 minute window. But you imagine trying to get through London traffic.
What's the worst away game in the Premier League? What stadium to get to? I know what it is.
It's Palace now.
Crystal Palace. It's Crystal Palace. But it's horrible, honestly.
Here's one for the kit men that it's just stimulated me thinking about it, because I used to do the team sheets.
Yeah.
So when you're running late, the kit man would always take a spare book. So then I'd be on the phone. If I'm not there to hand the sheet in at an hour and 15 before,
He can do it.
He can fill it in, and then my job, I didn't get changed. I'd just take the captain and we'd basically bolt straight to the ref's room, and we might have missed the opposition. But if we were so with it something of a problem, I think it happened probably 2 or 3 times in my career when I've had to phone him and he's had to fill it in and just take it to the thing, because they have to do the sheets at the same time
and stuff,
because the opposition need to know our team.
Yeah.
And then he's telling me their team, and I'm telling the manager their team when we're on the fucking bus. It's like, oh my God.
Honestly, being late. But I remember that one time in particular, that Basler one, and I remember walking off the coach at just about 2 o'clock it was, and I remember walking past Baz and going, "Don't worry about it, Baz," because I could see he was visibly upset. He was genuinely upset.
Mate,
he didn't even hear me. He didn't even hear me. He was heartbroken.
But he feels it. But then the manager had hammered him.
Yeah.
But then the manager hammers our club secretary, and our club secretary hammers the coach company.
Yeah. But the liaison guy gets it. Everybody gets it.
All you pray for when that happens is you win, and then somebody, i.e. me, just have a bit of banter after the game when we're getting on the bus.
Break the ice.
Break the ice. What a result. Same next time. We just roll. You've just got to say something that the manager can just... He'll not respond, but just he'll think, yeah, fair dude.
We actually won that game 1-0.
That's very important.
That game 1-0.
You did. Who scored?
It was Dennis Emmanuel. It was.
But the game changes if you get beat in that situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you just, because like we're human beings, aren't we? Managers sometimes aren't, but I want to be there on time. I've got roles, responsibilities, but nobody does anything on purpose, and London traffic's London traffic. And even following sat-navs, I make some right arses of it.
Of course.
And when you've got a big bus...
Thanks everybody for watching. We hope you enjoyed this clip of the Fozcast. If you would like to watch the full episode, it is now available exclusively on Spotify for free.